Week 3 NFL is in the books. Let's do it. Well, last Thursday, the Jets in New England, and you got these turkeys on TV, these heads on sticks, talking about Aaron Rodgers is back. If he don't beat New England by 10 points without trying, come on now. I like that Mayo's the coach of the Patriots, but they stink. I like Brisket all right, Brissett all right, but Brissett is he's a third string who can play a strong second, more try to play a first. It ain't gonna happen. I like him, but they stink. Their defense is all right. They got no offense. They stink. The Jets are overrated. And Aaron Rodgers, they beat a team they're supposed to. But they want this fanfare to manipulate. The Giants beat Cleveland. Deshaun Watson, he might consider hanging it up, yo. It really ain't in the cards. It really ain't in the cards. And you make Daniel Jones look that good, you might have to consider it. Cleveland is a waste of talent and time, and it's a mess already. Heavyweight fight could be a potential NFC Championship matchup. Philly beat New Orleans in New Orleans. Saquon Barkley, and I want to hear something right now. Running backs have not died. You know how they try to say R&B is dead, hip hop is dead. Running backs are not dead in the NFL. You got to utilize them. You got to play them. Saquon Barkley, like he got out of jail. He running crazy. And Hurt looked good. It's just the opportunity. I just think their coach got to have more of an offensive weaponry. That's their problem. Their defense was fine. And Saquon Barkley, it was balling. As for New Orleans, reality kind of hit. Derek Carr looked like Derek Carr. Alvin Kamara looked good in spurts, but this was a heavyweight fight. We're going to see. Let me come back in. Minnesota spanked Houston, and it wasn't so much that C.J. Stroud got beat. It's Sam Darnold. He looked like he learned some playbook. He balling. Jefferson balling, but their defense. Is it the return of the Purple People Eaters? They look like arguably the best team in the NFC right now. They look scary. They look like they could be a problem. And that division is stacked. So Minnesota, and they got Jones and running back. Again, another running back. Come on now. Denver beat Tampa Bay. And it wasn't so much that Denver beat Tampa, it's still how bad they beat them. Bo Nixon got his first win. Sean Payton, they won. Baker Mayfield doing Baker Mayfield things, throwing picks, looking lost, being a deer in the headlights. And we know he's one of the most overrated, overhyped jive turkeys there are at quarterback. It's just a matter of time before he does Baker Mayfield things. And they're going to be looking like they something when they really not that. I watch these heads on sticks try to, oh, well, he's finally found a place. Well, if you give me 18 to 20 different teams, bound to do something right. You better do something right when you got Michael Evans and that Cordy guy. But he will do Baker things. So impressive win for Denver, and their defense is pretty good. It's just that the offense is not. They're a young team, and you know they're green. Green Bay beat Tennessee. Malik Willis. Now it's not going to be a quarterback controversy because when Jordan Love comes back, he will be the starter. But I am going to say Willis is he got out of Saudi Arabia, he got out of Tennessee. When you get opportunity to do things, and you see what Tennessee is stuck with at quarterback. This turkey throws 2 picks every game like it's mandatory. They turn the ball over. Their special team sucks, and there's no Derrick Henry. DeAndre Hopkins is going to be that dude. If we didn't have social media and Wi-Fi and everything, we'd be like he was one of the best that you never saw. Because now he's in Saudi Arabia, and nobody's going to come to save him. He should have came to the Bills. He chose to go to Tennessee. Not a good look. It'll be a long year. He'll be one out. Indy beat Chicago. Richardson looked really good at quarterback. Another example. Um, um, Colts got a strong running game, and I'm telling you right now, people need to stop always acting like the running game died. Got one of the best running backs going, and he's still balling. By the way, he's still balling. So the Colts looked good, you know. Caleb Williams, growing pains. You're a young rookie. It's gonna be a while before you get it together. And the Bears don't know nothing about offense, so what you expect? It's going to be growing pains. This ain't SC. And losing is going to be the norm here. It's going to be the norm here, just saying. So Colts could be a little feisty team. Not expecting a lot, but they're a feisty team. They got a nice little squad. Pittsburgh beat the Chargers. Boy, Jordan Fields is making people eat crow, but what he's really doing is because if your name ain't Andy Reid, then the next best coach in the NFL is Mike Tomlin. Because Mike Tomlin can coach up anybody at quarterback. They're just doing nickel and dime, smash mouth. Don't be cute. Just keep it simple. Justin Herbert, still growing pains. I thought this cat would have been the Dan Marino of his era, and it just ain't happening. It just ain't happening. They just getting exposed. So we'll see how that turn out. Seattle beat Miami. Geno Smith, he's balling, and but they playing against Miami. And Skylar Thompson is looking like Tristan Thompson back there for Miami. Boy, with no Tua and Mike McDaniel's gimmicks as a coach, the fish be sinking. Because for all the Waddle and Tyreek Hill movement, they don't have any consistency. They got to get them a quarterback. They might have to get Dan Marino out the old folks' home or something. They really going to be on a one-ad section now because they're wasting away. Seattle's a nice little squad. I don't know how good they really are, but they're good enough to beat some meat of the road teams. And Geno, that pass to Metcalf was sweet. Metcalf ain't no joke. So, anyway, Carolina beat Vegas. I have a good friend of mine who's a big Carolina fan. Did he make Andy Dalton? Andy Dalton? He's like he went back to the future. He was balling. I mean, was it Bryce Young being miserable and would he stink it up? Garnishaw Minshew, the quarterback for the Raiders, I always get a good, strong opening drive, and then they just fade. The Raiders are just not a very good team. I like Antonio Pierce, but it's going to take more than try to talk tough and get tough. They just don't have it, and they don't have the talent and depth against teams. If you get punched in the mouth at home by Carolina, it's going to be a long year, long year. The Rams beat the 49ers. This ain't on Brock Purdy, but tell you like this. Sean McVay, who does have a ring, been in 2 Super Bowls, just as Kyle Shanahan does have 1 ring. They kind of like the same person. And it's not just the California and the slick dude. It's just kind of like the same, except the difference is McVay's got a ring. But they both get out coached. This was a game where the 49ers should have won. They were up by 10. But I always say Kyle Shanahan's shenanigans, he can't finish up. Blows Super Bowls, blows NFC Championship games, blew this game. Madsen is a strong running back. I'm talking about how good the running back. Jonathan Taylor's who I was trying to talk about with the Colts, so forgive me back up there. You got great running backs. Message to some of these teams, you should invest in a good running game. The 49, Brock Purdy did pretty good. It's just that they come unraveled. They let it stick around, and then they give a play and they lose a game. That's their problem. They can't finish. You never heard that said about Bill Walsh or George Seifert. Never. Even Mariucci knew how to finish up a game or two. And he didn't have half the opportunities to get as deep as Shanahan. So, I don't know what to say. These two teams kind of the same boat. Detroit beat Arizona. They played great defense against Kyler Murray. So, Kyler Murray didn't look so super. It was just a meet and grind it out kind of game. Good win for them. Good win. And it was they look like they're supposed to look. But they got to get used to this mindset. But they did a great job on Kyler Murray. They contained him as much as anybody has because they hadn't been seen. Baltimore beat Dallas. Should have been a blowout. Should have been like a 40 burger. But they let their foot off the gas. They nearly blew it. Dak Prescott with those empty calories, stat pattern. They got no running game. They can't stop the run. And Derrick Henry looked like the ghost of Earl Campbell infiltrated his body, and he ran all over him. And why didn't let him go for 30 carries, 35 carries? He probably would have been near OJ Ruckert or one of them Ruckerts or something, because he was not going to be stopped. He looked like a freight train. He was toying with him, Dallas is not that good. Their defense sucks. Mike McCarthy will meet heat. It won't be long. He can keep looking at the scoreboard. They're done. They are cooked. It could be a long year. And there might not be no easy wins because they didn't give up just the last 2 games, 70-plus points at home. So it's not a good look. Teams were teeing off on them. Kansas City beat Atlanta. It was a pretty close game. Kirk Cousins started really good. They haven't looked good, but this is why Kansas City is the best team going, because it's about how you finish. That's why Patrick Mahomes then entered into that Tiger Woods conversation. There are a lot of what I call Phil Nickel. In the last 3 games, I'm going to use him in a golf metaphor. He's the Tiger Woods. Everybody else can do what he can do to an extent, but they can't finish. Like Lamar Jackson's kind of like VJ Singh. He could win one and he does stuff, but it's consistency. And then you start to fade. Mahomes, they do enough to win. They find a way to win. They beat you in different ways. That's what the great ones do. That's why they're like the Patriots of their time. They are that good. They're going to be the mountain that you're going to have to climb. They just know how to win. And it don't be pretty, but they get it done. Just another W for them. Last night, Buffalo spanked Jacksonville. Proud of the Bills. Josh Allen looked incredible. He was on target. James Cook. They just got to run more. But the Hamlin interception was special when you consider how far Hamlin came. As for Trevor Lawrence, he overrated, overstated, and it's like Cinderella. The shoe and broke, and he's back to being the frog. It's not there. It's not there. From the prince back to the frog. And Doug Peterson is magic. He tends to wear out. He tends to hype these quarterbacks up. Tends to fade. They in for a long season. And you know with Mac Jones, who I call Mac and Cheese, that's diddly D and diddly dumb. Y'all got a long season. Long season there. So I impressive about the Bills, but again, one thing I will give Nick right. I don't want to get excited because it's September, but I will say this about the Bills. If they're committed to running and the defense comes on, they might be on to something. But I don't want to get my hopes up too high. They did what they're supposed to do. Smash up on a whack team. And last night's game may have been the best of them all. Yeah, I thought it was a snicker. But Jaden Daniels leading Washington over Cincinnati in Cincinnati, you know, was very impressive. Josh Allen, by the way, I call like the Phil Nicholson, the closest to Tigers, Patrick Mahomes. Then Joe Burrows is like the Sergio Garcia because he hit the cup and it took him a long time to get together. They start slow. I think it's the coaching. I think the philosophy is off and they just are not consistent. They started believing in pressing their hypes. And that is one of the problems that they ran into. They're not that good on defense. And the reality that Jaden Daniels was going for fourth down. Schneider, they was going for it. They were pushing the envelope, not getting off the field. Very impressive for Washington. If this is what Washington is going to be, they could be a surprise team that no one want to have to deal with. They could be a problem. Now, their defense is not that good, but their offense reminds me of the fun bunch of the 80s. They really are having fun, and they got a quarterback they can believe in. So that's how I would look at them. So keep an eye on Washington. Could be a sleepy team. Anyway, please hit like, subscribe, open thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay focused, stay real. Root for your team. That's the end of week 3. Let me know how your team did below. Peace. I'm out.